What's up, YouTube? It's Bianca J, and I'm here today with a prophetic message from the Lord. And the title of today's video is called Restoration. And so, not a few nights ago, last night, I had a dream where the Lord was really speaking to me. And I went ahead and broke down this dream for you guys so I can give you this message today. And I do have a couple of scriptures for you guys. And so I want to just jump right into it. So, in this dream that I had, it was a guy named Jim. And so I was talking to him inside of the dining room. And he was telling me about how he had to defeat his enemies, right? He had to defeat his enemies or whatever. And so God had brought him to this new place where God was changing his path, and God was changing his life, and he was taking back everything that the devil had stole from him. And so he was talking to me about how he had to, he laid low on it, because the way that those people from his past made him feel, right? They made him feel like low about himself, and the way that they talked to him, the way that they treated him. And he was saying now that he was the best version that God had created him to be. He wanted to confront those people. And I was like talking to him, telling him, like, don't worry about it, like, you're in a better place. I was just telling him not to confront him, but he said that's what he needed to do for him. And so he agreed that he wouldn't do it, but a part of me still knew that he would. And so by the time I had made it out to the porch where everyone was gathered at, I can see that everyone was looking like to the left, and they were like screaming and pleading. And then when I look around the crowd of people that was on the porch, it was Jim in an altercation with three other guys. And so in the midst of all of that, I was the only person who wasn't scared to leave off of the porch. And so I began to walk down there. And so by the time I get down to where they were in an altercation at, it had broke up. The fight had broke up. And so there was a guy named David, and he was looking so surprised that I was coming to help Jim. And Jim was my uncle too. And so I was coming to help him, and the guy David looked at me like he was just so surprised that I will be coming to, to my uncle's aid. And so then the guy named Daniel, he spoke and said, "What happened to the sweet little girl you used to be?" And so he had like a little smirk on his face, as if it was like sarcasm, like he was trying to make me feel bad about my past. And so in that moment, that's when I realized that these guys in this dream, they were demons, because only a demon would bring up your past to taunt you with it, right? So he was trying to make me feel bad about myself, bringing up my past to make me feel bad about myself. And so at that moment, and that little smirk he did on his face and the look he had in his eyes, I knew. And so the other guy, his name was Joshua, and he was dressed in all black. Daniel was dressed in gray, and then David, he had on a red hoodie. And so I'm continuing to walk towards where my uncle was. He was a little bit further up from them. And so he was sitting in the car. And so they began to try to talk to me, the three guys. And so the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, this is going on one ear, not the other. I'm not listening to anything you have to say, right? Because I already have classified you as being a demon. So I'm not listening to anything you're saying. And so they continue to try to talk to me and try to persuade me and tell me why my uncle was wrong and why they ended up jumping my uncle, right? So all three of the guys ended up jumping my uncle, and they just keep trying to justify them jumping him to me. And I'm like, it's going on one ear, not the other, but I'm just trying to keep them away from where my uncle was in the car. And so they begin to walk up. They began to, no, they're still talking to me. So I see my uncle, he opened up the car door and he sticks a pole out of the car door. Excuse me. He sticks a pole out of the car door like he was trying to like scoop up whatever it was on the ground, but it ended up being like a gun on the ground. And so he began to try to like scoot it to him, so like the brothers, they couldn't see him like grabbing this firearm, right? And so in the midst of all of that, Joshua take notice, right? And so he begins to run up to the car where my uncle was, and my uncle has the gun in his hand, and he begins to like try to like wrestle the gun out of his hand. And so out of nowhere, her sister came, and her name was Keisha, and she came out of nowhere, and she began to try to help Joshua. And so in the midst of all of that, the gun is going off, it's firing in the sky, but me, David, and Daniel, we're standing back, and we're just looking like in like disbelief that all of that was going on. And so we began to just, we're just still standing there. And so they're still tussling over the gun. The gun is still firing off in the sky. And so in the midst of all of that, a bullet ricocheted, and it came across the hairline of Keisha, across her hairline, and she was bleeding, and she immediately just started screaming like I've never heard before. And so because she was trying to help her brother, who was a demon, who wasn't any good, she ended up ultimately getting hurt. And so her brother Joshua, he stepped back, and he just stood there like in disbelief, like, that she really was hurt. And so I wanted to break down this dream for you guys, because this dream, it spoke about so many things. And so the message that I have for you guys is about restoration. It's about taking back what the enemy has stolen from you. And it speaks on not being afraid to redeem yourself. In Leviticus 25:49, it says, an uncle or a cousin or any blood relative in their clan may redeem them. Or if they prosper, they may redeem themselves. And so because my uncle had prospered, because he was doing better for himself, because he had put himself out of the place in which he used to be, he was able to redeem himself. The whole point of him wanting to confront those old demons that had bothered him and that had mistreated him, that had cost him everything it was that he loved, that had caused him to lose and take the things away from him that he loved so dearly, to make him miss precious moments. He wanted to confront those demons. He wanted to defeat those demons. He wanted to show those demons who he had become, and doing that, he was going to redeem himself. And that's pertaining to the scripture in Leviticus 25:49. And so what God is saying in this season for a lot of you guys, that he's getting ready to supersede and replace the old version of you with the new version of you. Don't worry about what people were saying about you, how people have made you feel, because God is saying that he is restoring you and redeeming you in this season. He also, this word also talks about, making the right choice for the right reasons, right? And then it's also important about having positive intentions about what's right? And so I wanted to talk about the fact that those people in the dream were all names in the Bible, like the prophet Daniel and David and Joshua. But in this dream, They actually were demons, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the devil comes in and he appears as being light, right? Because, you know, sometimes the devil can be deceiving, right? He can portray himself as being light. Although they had those names, they weren't those people. They weren't God's people. Those were demonic people. They were tearing God's people down. And the way that Jim had explained to me how they had made him feel in that dream, like they had stolen his dignity, like they had stolen his respect. You know, they belittled him, right? And so he laid low, and when the time was right, once he had built himself back up and had changed his life, you know, he was ready to confront these people, right? And this is how he gave it to me in the dream. And so God is saying, don't worry about your past. You know, only God can judge you. Don't worry about what people think about you or about your past, about your past mistakes. Because when God favors you, you are his beloved, right? And so God is saying that God is your salvation. And God is saying that he favors you. You are his favorite, okay? And so God is delivering you from suffering and evil, negativity, negative conditions, disabling conditions, and death as well. And this is restoration for some of you. And Isaiah 61:7, it says, instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. And so you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. So this is your season where you are taking back everything that the enemy has stolen from you. This is your season to take back all those years you may have lost, and the time that you have lost, you know, dealing with these demons and the enemy and the things that he have made you lose and miss out on. This is your season for restoration. This is your season where God is saying that he is going to give you double for everything you have been through, double for everything that you have lost, double for everything that the enemy has stolen from you. This is your season to be redeemed. God is redeeming you in this season. God is your redeemer. He is redeeming you, and you cannot lose. So I just want to say, you know, you guys, that's all I have for you guys too. I wanted to say that for some of you, you are in a season where God is saying this is the season that he's delivering you. He's pulling you out of whatever it is that you have been going through. He's delivering you from the devil. He's delivering you from the enemy. And because you have, you know, been steadfast and unmovable, and you have did the work, and you have worked to change your life, this is your season where he's going to redeem you. This is your season where he's going to grant you double portions. This is your season where you're going to get back everything that the enemy has stolen from you. And so do not worry about your past. God said that only he can judge you. Don't worry about how those old demons may try to come and tempt you and try to disturb your peace. Just know that they don't have any power, and you don't have to accept what they're trying to issue out to you, what they're trying to speak to you. Rebuke it and shut it down, because God said you have power and authority, and because Jesus has given you this power and authority, you can cancel any and all power that tries to come up against you, such as the enemy. So cancel out the enemy with the power and authority that is in you, that Jesus is granting you. So do not be afraid, you guys. This is your redemption season. This is your redemption season. This is your season where you're going to get double portion, double for your troubles. And that's all I have for you guys today. But until my next one, you guys, you stay focused, stay blessed, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, you guys, see you later. Bye.